Hey, folks. Your friend neighborhood podcaster here, comic book writer and film worker, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, today is a fun little episode we have for you guys today. Special free comic book day edition, actually. Shout out to Ken Brown. Take a sip of water. Because we're very professional over here. You know what? I figured we could do a special where it's interview with somebody. Maybe the interview crashes and deal with that nonsense. Or we deal with, a little review of something, a reaction video or something like that too. But I figured let's go. It's comic book, right? It's free comic book day. We got to do something cool. And a little bit of learning, to say the least, here. So while I have you guys here today, if you clicked on the video, you know what you're in for, to say the least. But you know what? I'm talking to you as a professional comic book writer, a published guy of 3, soon to be more, maybe, hopefully, a comic book series, Young Power, Super PD, as well as Operation Kaiju Shield. I'm coming at you guys with something very special because many people always ask me questions about how to be a writer. Many people always ask, oh, how do you do this? How do you build a world? How do you create these stuff? How do you get this from your brain? In which case, almost anybody can. But it just takes a special talent. I'm underselling it right here, and I just hit my camera. It takes sometimes a special brain, and it takes the learning power to be able to translate it into storytelling. One of the big things that we're going to talk about today, something nobody ever really does. Like, we can build a world. If you're able to build and create a world, it's talent. But what you got to be able to do is to fill it with stuff. That stuff being characters. So some of that stuff is very important. Characters, building a world is more difficult than that. But we're here to talk about developing characters. Something no one really talks about, to say the least. And it's kind of very important. It's actually very, very important. So we're here to develop characters in comic books, right? Characters are something that makes and breaks your story. Characters are something that your readers are going to bond to. They're going to be something that your readers want to follow or see die or see cause mass chaos or avenge their father. I don't know, avenge Uncle Ben or some shit. They want to follow these. And you know what? Whether it's comedic characters, whether it's dark, brooding characters, whether it's light, hopeful characters and such like that. You got your Superman, you got your Batman, you got your Daredevil, Spider-Man, Supergirl, Wonder Woman. You got all this sort of stuff in here. They're all different in their own sense here. And people always say, oh, it's really cool about that, but they never really talk about what it takes to make those characters who they are. That's what we're here to talk about. A little learning episode for you guys and gals out there who may be watching. So I got the notes written down over here because it's very professional and this stuff. I'm a way in-person guy. Quarantine's really got this shit messed up. It's really got it messed up, I swear. So we're looking at backgrounds. Actually, no, we're going to start the pre-work. Pre-work on your characters include, like, for your main characters, your villains, your stuff like that as well. Your B characters, if they become really important. Your characters' pre-work is the history. You know, what developed before you meet this person. Or a thing. It could be a thing, too. Maybe it's a cat. I don't know. There's a lion cat from Saga. Who knows? Not sick, I swear. But, what happened to this person or thing before you see them, because what happened to them before, it's like Guillermo del Toro. Del Toro puts in so much back history to his characters and his worlds that they're so fleshed out. It's not just like, boom, here they are. It's, these guys have been around for a while. You know what? They've got a history, because history makes a character. You can't just have a clone and it just pops up and it's supposed to have emotions. The Watchmen TV show showed us it can. Partially. But the past history is what you want to work on for the character first. Was it good? Was it bad? Did they get affected? Trauma? Magneto, example. Magneto, he pops up and you're like, why the hell is he so cranky? Well, probably because Auschwitz and the Holocaust. That's background. Peter Parker, when you see him in a book, why is he the way he is? Uncle Ben. What happened before Uncle Ben? His parents, Superman, Krypton, all that sort of stuff there. But then also remember, Superman is like, oh, Superman, Krypton, but he had Smallville, he had Lana, he had Mom Pa Kent there, he had all these characters with him. But on what version you want? Well, which version you're thinking about here, but so many of those things matter, and your characters will use that pre-work you do, and it pushes them to go where you want them to go. Excuse me. Some of the pre-work too can include family, friends. What is this person's family like? What is or thing? What is this friends like? What is acquaintance? Is this person a loner when in the past? Maybe not anymore, but was in the past. Well, is this person familyless? That's a word. Is this person having tough times with family? What is this character like at the moment here? This pre-work does matter. It does matter. It's something people neglect a lot of times in modern storytelling, and we see it in movies and comics and such like that all the time. This matters because it develops them as a character. It's not just a plain old G.I. Joe. Oh, no, G.I. Joe's a character. It's not just like a plain old silhouette of a character. It's not like, here's this art piece, and you're just following what the art does. And that's really, you don't want that. And a lot of books are like that. We don't want that. Well, I'm here to teach you guys not to do. According to the fans, that I'm right, so I don't know. Water's very healthy this time of year. So, personality is what we're going to talk about next. Personality. What sort of things make them them? You can't just have like this blank slate there that, the common white picket fence bullshit. You can't have any of that. So, what we're looking at here is what in their personality makes them them that you're trying to write about, you're trying to tell your story with. Because obviously these characters aren't there just to be like, ha ha, hi. Your characters are there to tell the story, the message that you have in there, to build this world you're trying to build. That's the point of characters. And when building these guys and gals, whatever it may be, it could be a robot, who knows? When you're building these things, the thing to think about in personality is quirks, emotions. Are they cranky? Is it smart? Is this character dumb? Is this character somewhat smart? What is this? Is this character obviously hiding something in its emotions? But there's something more there. And it's like, seems a little bit off there if you know people right and you know emotions are right. A good example is the difference between characters in Atlantis. Atlantis, the first one. We don't talk about the second one. In the first one, every character in their personality and emotions is so completely different. The only two people that kind of seem the same were the military officer girl and that main dude. The colonel? It's been a while, but the colonel. Everybody else was so different. The old lady, kind of asshole. She just smoked all the time, which you could not get away with in modern day cartoons. The digger. Everything like that. The Frenchie, all these sort of things there. That matters in their personality and whatnot, and makes it so you want to follow. You don't want to follow a blank character. You don't want that. You don't want picket fence, paying the bills bullshit. You don't want that type of character because no one's going to want to follow that. You're following these characters in this story, in this world, because it's something different. You don't want to make it 100% relatable, but at least a little bit relatable, which brings us to the next thing. Relatability. So you want to be able to relate to these characters, right? And if you make characters where nobody can relate to, you're not going to be able to have good readers, especially because we're just talking about the comics right now. You're not going to be able to have good readers in this because if you can't relate to these characters, none of them on the story, you're done. And it's not like, I relate to them in job-wise. I relate to them in paying bills or whatever wise. No. You relate to them and be like, I've been through a traumatic experience like that. I feel the same emotions. I have the same type of goals. Maybe the same job or something like that too. I'm married. I'm dating someone. Whatever this thing is, you want to be able to make these people relatable. Even the villains. The villains matter too in making something relatable. Because if you have villains in there that's like, hey, Batman, like the fucking 60s Penguin, you don't want that. 2020 is not going to be the year you want to start them because you want to go back in time. It's not going to work. So you take a look at that. And you want to be able to make a villain relatable with their goals, with what is like Reverse Flash from the CW show. Everybody knows him. They know his goals. He wanted to go home. We've all felt that. Just wanting to go home and doing whatever it can, whatever it takes, in whatever bad situation we are in to want to go. The bad party, the bad hookup, the bad whatever it is. We've all been in that one. But whatever it is, be able to relate to. That's what develops a character too. And when you bond with a certain character, that makes people want to still follow your story to be able to follow what happens to this character because they're following for these characters. Every now and then it's the world and the characters. Most of the time it's characters. So next thing we're going to be talking about here is goals. Got the list. If you guys are a fan on YouTube, you know really what it is. Goals. This is tricky because goals can change. You can have a character or villain have certain goals and you know what they are, or you get hints of what they are. Sometimes you can have goals in your characters where, like watching a TV show, the greatest piece of television in 2020 so far, actually. Yeah, the greatest piece of television in 2020 was that show. We think we know the goals. We think we know our characters' goals and what they want. We don't. So goals, you can trick your reader. You can, or audience member, whatever it is, but we're talking about comics, like I said. We are talking tricking, in a sense. Excuse me. So you think you put seeds down. You put the seeds down of what you think is the goal. Like, oh, they're going to think it's this, right? This character wants this. Oh, yeah. This is really showing doing this one thing to do this. When really, it's not that at all. Excuse me, by the way. That burp was like some serious ASMR shit. Well, it's not that at all. You want to bring forth something more. So it's like, oh, that was actually part 2 out of 7. And it was actually, or 8, or whatever. And there's something more to it with the goals here. And actually, the end part, when you get to the end, you're like, oh my God, that was what this person. Oh, I did not want to support this person. This person's actually a villain. Holy shit. That's some good writing right there. But there's that. Other goals can be really heroic sort of thing here. For heroes, maybe turn villains like that, or just heroes in general. Your goal of, we need to escape. The goal of, I'm here to do this, to purge my city of crime, or something like that. That's my goal. Goal is to protect people. Goal is to save people. Goal is to go to space or something like that. Whatever it may be, We're just doing really iconic stuff here as examples, I know, but those goals matter. Goals matter for your character to help them progress. This is all stuff to help your characters progress to make them better in what they are. And make their better storytelling as well, too. So, and you can make it known straight from the beginning what it is, and you make people think they know what it is, or you make it a secret. And you just tease people along the way. Or it's like a villain, or even a hero sometimes, where you don't know this person's goals. You have no idea what they're doing. You have no idea, but maybe this person's actually really good. You don't find out till the end. But the goals is up to you as the writer. Just put them in there for your characters. Operation Kaiju Shield, one of the series I write that puts giant monsters in the Vietnam War. The goals for the characters are all different. Everyone in the Komodo squad, it's all different. The majority goal, though, is to be able to survive. They have to follow their orders, do what the orders are telling them, go to these hotspot zones, take on these things, contain the threat in Vietnam. In 1965 was bullshit tech, really. The goal, though, is to be able to survive. So if you have a group of characters, make each of them have their own goal in the situation that they're in, or the world that they are in. Each one does, because each one is a living thing. Each one has a different goal because they're all living things. You can't, but then have an overall goal too. So they all have 2 goals. That's the key with writing a group or a team in a book. Because each one is a living thing, right? Not all living things have the same goals. But if you're trying to write a story and all of us all have the same goals all the time, you're not going to get anywhere in your storytelling. You're not going to get anywhere with your character development. And it's going to go downhill fast. And make it clear, I was going to wear a Game of Thrones hat, and I was going to be like example of kind of what not to do to characters in the end, but take that into consideration. Although I love Game of Thrones. But take a look at that. And yeah. So have an overall goal when writing a team, and then also personals. Those 2 things matter when writing for teams. I'm burping all the time now. Luckily, this is only going to YouTube. So, yeah, I'm actually taking a look at the list here. Friendly neighborhood list, because it's always good to have one of those. And yeah. Oh, one final thing that we have here today for character development, for how to develop a character. Same thing. Writing, words, quarantine. When you mix those all together, it's all crap. But is looks. One thing you do want to make sure you do is the look of your character. The look of your character is going to make or break your story and readers and everything else like that. It's going to make or break it. You want characters to stand out. You don't want mom and pop looking crap. You want characters to stand out. Unless that's the story you're going for, go right ahead. But you want characters to stand out. You want the clothing to be, maybe depending on the storytelling, maybe it's normal, like you're wearing regular Joe Schmo clothes, but you want it to stand out a little bit more than just a blank t-shirt. Make it long sleeve, make characters' hair messed up then. Whatever it may be, make it fit their personality as well, too. That's also one other thing, is make the clothing fit the personality. You don't want some, dark, brooding character to be wearing purple. It's been done. Trust me, it's been done. But you don't want that to happen. So keep that in mind, too, when you're developing a character, is their looks. You want their costumes, you want their outfits, you want their looks, and also not even just clothing. Face, arms, scars, hairdo, glasses, watches, all that sort of stuff matters for your character's looks. It makes them maybe somewhat more relatable, and then also it adds, curiosity factor. Oh, this person's suit looks really cool. I'm a big fan of this Spider-Man suit. Yeah. New suit? Oh, gotta watch it. Gotta read it. That's the thing. Character look, and let's just say, if when you're developing a character, you want it to look good because it'll probably turn into a Funko Pop if it's really good. Just saying. That's the world we live in. Make it good enough for a Funko. They do not sponsor this video. So, yeah, that's the end of it here, folks. That's my checklist here that I'm taking a look at my list right here for the video. That's it. This is developing a character 101. We could go on for a masterclass on this shit for about an hour or two, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm not going to subjugate you guys to that. So when developing your character, keep all these notes in mind. They're really helpful. It's simple stuff. People forget it often, especially when writing books. When people ask me to read their scripts, I do. Number one thing I tell them, character development. Need to develop these characters on more. Number two thing I tell them, worlds. One day I'll do a video on world building and how to build a world. It's not as simple as people may think it is. It's really not. Anybody professionally, film professional friends of mine will tell you that have written fucking TV shows for HBO and everything else. My friends will tell you that. Comic book friends will tell you that. Book friends will tell you that. It's not easy to build a world, especially build it right. You can build one, but is it going to work and do things right? No. To be able to do that takes time. It took me a couple years to learn how to do it correctly and being a super nerd of stuff. But that's a whole different video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. You got some knowledge from it. Enjoyed yourself. And, of course, it's getting hot in the studio. And, of course, guys, if you want to follow me on social media, you guys can follow me at Dakota_Morgan97 on Instagram or at DakotaMorgan3 on Twitter. You guys can follow me on there. Stay in touch with all the comic stuff I do. Podcasts as well for the Comic Chronicle podcast. Film World podcast. Film stuff I do. All the sort of stuff like that as well. Well, when the world's normal and not coronafied. And if you guys want to stay in touch for gaming stuff I do on this channel or more writing tips and whatnot, because I come up every now and then with them, subscribe on Dakota Morgan YouTube channel. That's it. Dakota Morgan. Simple enough. Follow, subscribe on there. Leave a like on the video if you like it too. Comment maybe some writing things you want me to go over for characters, for worlds, for how to write comics. What is the script format for that sort of thing? Whatever it may be, comment down below. Hopefully you guys enjoy the episode. And stay classy, my fellow creatives.